to my channel. It's been a while, you guys, so I came at you guys this week with a story time. I might be dropping my other video too this week. It's a tutorial on this wig that I purchased. Yes, it's a human blend wig, and it's just bomb. It's bomb, and I laid it. Period. Anyway, so this story time is going to be about me meeting somebody when I was a freshman in high school. So around the time I was a freshman in high school, I had a best friend at the time, and we were riding on the bus coming from, I forgot where we was coming from. I think we was coming from our downtown area or whatever. Long story short, on the bus, mind you, my best friend at the time, she was like super pretty or whatever, and the bus driver, he was like, you know, you girls are so pretty and stuff like that. Like, he called her to the front of the bus. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is a little weird. I'm thinking he's a... And I'm like, why is he doing that? Like, we little kids, like, you know what I'm saying? But come to find out, he had a son. So he's like, oh, I want you to meet my son. I want you to meet my son. So he calls his son on his cell phone and puts her on the phone. So he's like, exchange numbers. She's pretty, son. She's pretty. So he's trying to hook his son up or whatever. Oh my gosh. Like, this story is like so funny to me. But she ended up taking his number down. We go home. Okay, some days go by. Well, we go to her house. Some days go by and they end up speaking on the phone. So I call her from my house. I'm like, so what's been going on with you and old boy or whatever? So, you know, she's telling me basically that he's cool and they're going to meet up and stuff like that. So one day after school, I come over her house or whatever. I think it was like a Thursday. So I come over her house and she's on the phone with him. So he's like, oh, you got a friend from my friend? So she's like, yeah, my best friend's right here, this, that, and third. So he like, yeah, I'm about to put my boy on the phone. So we're gonna call him JJ. So JJ gets on the phone, I grab the phone. So immediately he's talking hella crazy to me. Like, oh, when I see you, it's gonna be a problem. You know how like when guys flirt, but be like fake acting like they gonna be mean to you or whatever, or hike on you. You know, we was little kids at the time, but they was a little older. I was 14 going on 15. I think she was 15, and the guys, they were 16. Long story short, so I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know how you think of you know, like an older girl. I'm like, yeah, whatever, you know. So I was nervous because I thought he was going to be, like, ugly. Because, you know, when you meet guys and stuff like that, you know, we wasn't supposed to be meeting guys. Like, and, you know, her mom didn't know we was going to meet them. You know what I'm saying? I was hoping he wasn't going to be ugly. So they went to a nice, prestigious school in our city. So we met them at a talent show they was having at their school. And oh my gosh, when we walked inside of there, so we're like, where they at? Duh. So she's like, I don't know. The dude that she was talking to walks up. Oh my gosh, he was not all that. Like, and his breath stunk. Like, he had funky breath. Funky. He had funky breath. Like, that type of breath you be smelling, you be like, did he even brush his teeth his whole life? Like, I don't know. Like, so she's sitting there hot. So now I'm nervous. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm ready to jump. Like, I'm ready to get up out of here and jump shit. Like, it's time to go. Like, then I seen JJ. I'm like, it was like the whole world stopped. And you know, like when things going like slow motion and they walking towards you, you know, I'm from the 90s. So, you know, back in the day, they used to have them movies or them TV shows when things would stop and the girl should be flinging her head. Everybody be like, wow, she's gorgeous. That's how he looked walking towards me. Dark skin, long braids, and he was just dipped. And I was just like, and then when he was like, so what? He came up to me, he was like, so what was all that you was saying on the phone? I'm like... Because he is taller than me. He's taller than me. So I looked up. I'm like, I ain't say nothing. Like, you know how you trying to keep your composure, but the whole time you smiling because he look OD good. Like, so I'm looking like I ain't say nothing. So we go inside of the talent show, and mind you, it's a group of them. Like, they have mad friends. So I'm looking at her like, yo, their friends are gorgeous. Like, and she like, I know, I'm trying to ditch him. I'm laughing like, nah, I'm good, Mom. But yeah, we end up dating, and I honestly did something like that was super foul to him. And I feel like I paid my debt through karma after him, because I ended up breaking up with him. And the reason why I broke up with him was because he wasn't like peer pressuring me to have sex. He wasn't rude. He wasn't disrespectful. He wasn't any of those things. Like, I was just jealous. Like, he had another girl from his high school braid his hair. So I'm like, why was she over your house braiding your hair and stuff like that? And he was just like, oh, because I wanted my hair braided. I feel like I know how to braid. Like, why you got the girls touching you? Like, I don't like that. Like, And that kind of turned me off with him. And then a lot of times he would call me and it would always be about him. He would never really ask me, like, how was school and stuff like that. So I was just looking like, ugh. And I ended up talking to this other guy. And then I ended up cutting him off. Like, but moral of the story is when you go on blind dates. Now, I've never been on a blind date. Not going to never say never. But up to now, I haven't been on a blind date as an adult. But I know from a teenager, it was super nerve-wracking. So I already know, like, as an adult, it's probably even more nerve-wracking, because you're not going to know what the heck you're going to get. At least with a kid, you thinking, like, maybe his shoes might be, it might be a little bit like adults, but not as bad as an adult. So I would just say, brace yourself and try to get a glimpse before you, like, even bump into them. Tell them you're going to be wearing something else. The whole time you wearing a different outfit so you can spot them first. And then you be like, oh, why? Like, cause no, like, her dude, mine's was fire. Like, mine's was fire, period. So that's it for this week's story time. I hope you guys had a quick little laugh. It's a quick little video. And stay tuned, because I'm going to be dropping more videos this month. And yeah, I'm out.